Ooh, good fish.
Coming up next on News Channel 3's Virginia Outdoor Life, while school's out for the summer, this youngster is getting educated in bass fishing on the Chickahominy River. Plus, it's easy access to the best fishing along the Bay Bridge Tunnel on the Headboat, Osprey. So sit back and put your feet up for the next half hour, because Virginia Outdoor Life is next. Hi, and how are you? Welcome to the show. It's Saturday, July 27th. This is Virginia Outdoor Life. I'm Bob Matthews, along with the captain, Eric Burnley. Good fishing this week?
First part of the week was pretty good. Then it kind of dropped off a little bit. But I think once this stationary front blows out of here, the weekend's going to be great.
So what do we got in the freezer right now?
Freezer?
Freezer, fridge, wherever you happen to keep
we got
what
some
you
striped
catch.
bass. We got some flounder. We got some croaker. We got some different stuff.
All right, I'll be over tomorrow night.
Come on, buddy.
All right.
Come on.
I'm hip. You know, one of the great things, of course, about life in the outdoors is the way it's passed down from generation to generation.
Absolutely
it's just
true.
one of those things you can do, father and son, mother and daughter.
My grandfather started back in the 40s, coming home, got me interested. He would come home with lard cans full of croaker before I was old enough to do anything, and I'd watch him clean them, and then first chance I got, I went croaker fishing with him.
And what did you do the first time? Can you remember how many you caught?
I caught a 5-pound croaker. I'll never forget it.
There you go.
Biggest one I've ever caught. That was probably 1952, and it's the biggest one I've ever caught yet.
That's what it's all about.
Yep.
Well, our old friend Kurt Lytle passed on some bass fishing secrets to a young friend of his. He's let us come along to Gordon's Creek for the lesson, too.
My name's Kurt Lytle. We're here on the Chickahominy River today. There's a number of places you can fish on the Chickahominy River. I've chosen Gordon's Creek here because Hurricane Bertha just passed through several days ago. And this creek here is not as messed up as far as the water clarity goes. This creek's great for bass. And what I've chosen is a plain old marshy bank here with one blowdown. And this blowdown draws them like a magnet. So today we're going to be learning how to fish spinnerbaits and some worms. And 12-year-old Brandon here is going to learn how to fish a worm a little more effectively for tidal water bass. So I'm going to choose spinning tackle for the worms I'll be using. Tidal water bass tend to take a little smaller baits than reservoir fish. And what I've chosen here is a Zoom finesse worm. And the color is called sour grapes. It's a real dark and real light contrasting color, which is good for these muddy water fish. It allows them to find it a little bit easier. And I'm going to rig it Texas rig, where it's weedless, and that'll keep us from snagging a little bit. There aren't a lot of weeds in Gordon's Creek, but it'll keep us from snagging in the blowdown that we're looking at up there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to poke it straight through, and now that it's poked through, I'm just going to skin hook the other side of it. So I'm just barely going to hook the tip of the hook under the skin of the worm, and so the worm's hanging fairly straight, and that should keep our line twist to a minimum, and it's weedless. And when a fish does bite this, he'll chomp down on it like this and break the plastic, and then we'll hook him. Also, be throwing a hog collar spinnerbait, which is a real bread and butter bait for me. I depend on this 12 months out of the year. What do you want to fish? Do you want to fish a topwater spinnerbait, or do you want to fish a worm right off the bat?
I guess I'll fish a spinnerbait.
Okay. Ooh, there's one. It came up and hit that, sitting still. And he's got a mouth full of hooks. There we go. I fished over that limb 2, 3, 4 times. We've covered this tree with a topwater and with a spinnerbait, and caught one on the topwater, nothing on the spinnerbait. There could be some less aggressive fish here, and in order to catch those less aggressive fish, we're going to fish a worm in here, and I'm going to show Brandon how that's done. To fish a worm in tidal water, the best way to learn it is to always throw up into the current. That way the sag in your line isn't as bad as if you were fishing across the current, then you've got your current pushing the line sideways. So what we're going to do is position our boat directly downstream of the blowdown here and throw straight up into it. That way we can control that slack a lot better. The slack is your biggest problem when you're worm fishing. You want to keep the slack out of your line. Let's go ahead and move on. This is a good little area right here. What you got is you got logs lined up, And this is an old wharf of some kind.
Yeah,
And a bunch of rocks on top holding the logs down.
I
Hopefully, okay, don't get too hard on them, because if that branch has got barnacles, we can lose him.
Nah. What do you want me to do?
Be cool.
Try to unwrap.
Okay.
There it goes.
There you go. All right. You want to lip him?
You can get him. He's too active. I ain't getting a hook in me for nothing.
There we go. Pretty fish. I've chosen to do this filming here out of this creek today because Hurricane Bertha, or Tropical Storm Bertha, came and muddied the water up at the upper end of the river. So this water is normally muddy, and therefore the fish don't care if it gets much muddier. It affects them less. Ooh, good fish.
Oh,
Come on back. Had him. There we go. There we go. That's about a 2-pound fish right there. Outstanding.
And our young friend in that story was Brandon McCarthy. I think he learned a thing or two.
I imagine, yeah, he did good.
That's the kind of stuff I like. I like well, heaven knows I don't get out enough, but when I do, I like the freshwater fishing. Nice and smooth. You just get out there in a bass boat, you kick back.
Much.
That's the kind I like. You get out there, you kick back, and you can
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
catch you some big old bass out
And
there.
that area where they're fishing is a very, very good area. When the Bassmasters Classic was held in Richmond a couple years back, in fact, it was there a couple of years, a lot of the competitors fished in the Chickahominy area. And Rick Clun won it fishing out in the main river, but nevertheless, there was a lot of pressure on the Chickahominy. A lot of those guys really like that river. It's a real good place to fish for bass, no question about it.
I tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to talk to the big guy, get us a travel budget. I'm going to take you back to Mississippi, where I grew up. We're going to go hit some of those some of those places I know up near Laurel and Hattiesburg.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
More fishing on the way too. We're going out on a headboat for a sunset cruise and fishing along the Bay Bridge Tunnel. It's going to be a great time, so stay tuned as Virginia Outdoor Life rolls on. Good to get a nice plug in.
That's right. That's right.
Welcome back to Virginia Outdoor Life right here on WTKR News Channel 3. You remember, or might remember, a couple of weeks ago we took you out to Hatteras on a head fishing boat, and we just want you to know that you don't really have to go 3 hours south to find a nice one. There are several that run the Chesapeake Bay. One such, of course, is the Osprey.
Yep, the Osprey running out of Lynn Haven Seafood Marina right there on Long Creek, just before you go underneath the bridge. It's one of a 3-boat fleet, the Beverly B and the Nancy Ann are the other two, but I have a connection on the Osprey, so I thought we'd go out and see how they're doing.
Connections. I'm telling you, this guy, he's amazing like that. We went out on a sunset cruise to the 3rd and 4th islands of the Bay Bridge Tunnel.
This evening we're headed out on the Headboat Osprey. We're going to be going out trying to catch some croaker and some trout. It is a gorgeous, beautiful summer evening. We're running out of Lynn Haven Inlet, and this is an evening trip. Most of the headboats run during the day, but this one runs in the day, but also makes these evening trips on Wednesdays and Saturdays. It's a lot of fun, and it's an inexpensive way to go fishing, and they've been doing real well on the croaker and the trout. So we're going to head on out and see what we can do with them.
Headed out in search of the elusive Chesapeake Bay croaker. Also some trout possibility, occasional flounder, maybe some bluefish. We're going to try right in the area of the 3rd and 4th island, the first part of the trip. Hopefully we'll get on them. We won't have to go very far. Your deckhands for this evening are Roger and Brian. Anything you might need, don't hesitate to ask them for it.
Hold up, don't just...
I heard something, it was shaking.
Are you on there? Can you film? Yep, you go.
Yeah, I got one.
Pick him up over here. Pull him over. Same type as yours.
you got to do to use conventional rods is keep your thumb on the spool, flip the switch forward, and let the line out slowly with your thumb, or you'll get a backlash. When it hits the bottom, it'll go slack, you'll feel a thud. Just flip the switch back, pull up, hopefully in a second or two they have fish. Next thing is just the hooks down here. All you got to do pretty much, take a piece of bait, it's a piece of squid, kind of worm it on there like a worm or anything like that. Try not to hook yourself, and you're all ready to go. Put them on both hooks, drop it down to the bottom, you got a fish.
Oh, a shark, look!
There's a shark! There's a shark!
I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him.
Never learn.
This damn boat don't stop rocking, might throw me overboard.
Oh, nice trout. When you're fishing on a headboat, 99% of the time you're going to be bottom fishing. And that means you've got to keep your line on the bottom. So it's very important to make sure you're letting enough line out until it goes slack on you and you know you're bouncing the bottom. Right now we don't have much current, so it's real easy to hold bottom. But as the current picks up, it becomes more difficult. But when you're bottom fishing, you've got to keep your line on the bottom. Sounds simple, but it's very important. Now, this time of year, it's all going to be pretty much croaker, right?
Croaker, a lot of croaker. We're waiting for the water to warm up and get a lot of the croaker moving out of the rivers and down here in the lower bay so we can catch them. We're seeing some bigger size croaker, but generally they're still running a little small, but we've had some decent action. The hurricane didn't hurt us nearly as bad as we thought it could have, but luckily, you know, the croaker is still around.
Does anybody want this? Y'all want it?
Yeah, drop it in, baby.
All right.
All right, if you want to take a ride on the Osprey, there it is, 481-4545. And I got to tell you, that ship's mate was very impressive. He definitely seemed like he knew what was going on.
Oh, he's sharp as a tack, that boy, let me tell you.
How about that goatee, huh?
We're going to do something about that.
Look out, Raj. All right, where we show off our photogenic fish sent in by our wonderful, loyal viewers. So without any further ado, let's open up the big book and get started. Why don't you start it off, Eric?
This is Steve Breland from Virginia Beach.
Holy cow.
45-pound red drum, was
man.
45 inches long, caught it at the point in Buxton, North Carolina this past May.
And he, of course, is friends with our producer, director, shooter, Mike Bibbo.
Yes.
And I hope Bibbs got some of the...
I hope he got at least a steak off of that.
He says it was tasty.
All right.
All right, this is Tim Brown and his band of renowned. He's from Virginia Beach. A 7-pound spadefish, citation size. It was caught aboard the boat citation.
No, boat seminar, I'm sorry, not the boat citation.
A misprint there, okay.
Yes.
All right, nice
All right,
fish.
here's Danny Davis of Portsmouth. Now, this is a little interesting story here. This is a 22-pound Jack Crevalle. It was caught by David Dobbins. But David wasn't around when the photo was taken, so Danny, who has been on our show like almost every week, said, hey, I've done this before, grabbed the fish and had his picture taken.
I think Danny's going to start getting royalties here.
I would imagine.
Put him on the payroll. All right, Spencer Adams from Virginia Beach. This is a blowfish and flounder caught in the bay off Kiptopeke State Park.
Right.
Not bad.
Nice place over there, too, that Kiptopeke State Park. It's really, really nice place to camp, good place to fish, and they're going to fix the boat ramp up, and you may be able to launch a boat there next year, so that'll be real nice.
Those blowfish are interesting, too.
Yes, they are. All right, here's a shot by Rick Burnley, another relative of mine. At any rate,
I was about to say, have we got a little connection going on
I
here?
think so. Well, Rick's off to rush into Peace Corps, but at any rate, this was Virginia Beach last winter. We thought it would be a good time to show it now in the middle of the dog days of summer. If you're getting too warm, you can look at that snow-covered, deserted beach that we had down here in Virginia Beach last winter.
We're headed into the home stretch here on Virginia Outdoor Life. It's hot product time, and of course, Eric is the model of organization, if I do say so myself. And I'm guessing the reason why is because of a good tackle box. And I got to say, if James Bond was an angler,
I was just thinking that this has got more secret compartments than his Austin Martin. You know what I'm saying? We got this.
I think you designed this for
Yeah, I think so. We got this. I don't know what happens if you push this. It probably blows up. You turn it over, and you can pull this out.
I'll be darned.
It's a Rubbermaid box. It's very nice. Still new.
Well, yeah, we got to break it in. That's all.
And then we have some lures, some hog collar lures.
Got some green stuff. What's
Green
this,
stuff,
root beer colored right
Root beer
here?
colored things and spinnerbaits.
I wonder if it tastes like
a
root
very,
beer.
very nice hot product this week. Very nice.
I'm liking it. How many lures do you figure you can fit in there? More than enough, I would assume.
Well, probably not enough for the average bass fisherman. He would need
No.
at least 3 or 4 of these. But,
Yeah, well, you can never have enough lures.
They never have enough lures.
Virginia
All right.
Beach Sports sells these things. There's
Good for
the
them.
address for it. And I guess we need to draw a name, don't we?
That would be a big help.
All right, we're going to open up the shotgun shell case here. And
Pull somebody out.
I'm going to read a name blind without rehearsing this first. That's always, that is always, okay, this is easy. Philip Duquette. Philip Duquette from Meadowood Drive in Virginia Beach. He says that he loves the show, too. So
Bless
see,
his heart.
Sucking up works.
Sucking up always works.
Every time.
Okay, put that with that so we know who to send it to.
That's
What's
right.
Ben?
Yeah.
I remember Ben.
Not bad. Not personally, I
know. No. He was just a little bit before my time, but not much.
Fishing forecast. What do we got this week?
Well, the cobia turned on a little bit better towards the end of the week than they were during the beginning of the week, and hopefully they'll hold up over the weekend. Flounder fishing has been good. The 12-mile marker has been a good spot for both flounder and cobia. Bottom fishing has been mostly gray trout. The croaker have been real hard to come by, but there's a lot of nice keeper-sized gray trout out there. There's been bluefish around the islands on plugs, but they haven't been there every day or every tide, so it's still not 100% on that. The bluefin tuna fishing has been pretty doggone good off of Wachaprague. They've had some nice fish, but unfortunately the season is closed for any bluefin tuna of less than 47 inches. It's got to be between 47 and 72 inches. It's getting, you got to take an accountant and a lawyer out there to go fishing anymore. But it should be a good weekend. The weather should be perfect. Get out, enjoy it. If you catch fish, fine. If you don't, hey, you had a good time.
It beats working, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a gorgeous weekend. I think people are going to have a good time. They should get out and enjoy it.
Let's do it. We're out of time. Be sure to go out and wet a hook. We'll see you next week.
Y'all take them easy.